Good morning, cadets. Welcome to the online session. In last video session, we discussed about the chapter democratic rights. Of course, we discussed in brief. Today, let us discuss or introduce the chapters which we are going to study in history. In class 9th history, we are going to study about European history and as well as the Indian history. So the contemporary world part 1 we are going to study in class 9th. So class 9th history is divided into various sections. One section, the first section is events and processes. The second section is of course about livelihood, and third is the life of the people. So in the section 1, that is, it is very given. In the section 1 you read about French Revolution, Russian Revolution and rise of Nazism. So what we are going to study in the section 1, that is section 1 we study about the French Revolution, then about Russian Revolution, and then about rise of Nazism. So hope you understand the importance of the section. So first section deals about French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, and the rise of Nazism, and of course about Hitler. So chapter 1 is on French Revolution, and French Revolution and why the French Revolution is very important in the history, because the ideas of liberty, freedom, equality, the gifts of French Revolution. So today whenever we speak about freedom, fraternity or brotherhood, equality, these are very common topics today we discuss, but the liberty, freedom, equality, they are all the gifts of French Revolution. Apart from that, what we today enjoy the rights, so that is what we say Declaration of Rights of Man during the Revolution. So today what we speak about the rights, this is also explained in the after the French Revolution. So it is all the gift of French Revolution, and several countries, even in India, that is anti-colonial movement in India, China, in Africa and South America, produced the ideas that were innovative and original, but they spoke the language that gained the currency only in the 18th century. So in the chapter number 1 we are going to discuss in detail about the French Revolution. What is chapter number 2? So chapter number 2 is given here. In chapter 2 we will read about the coming of socialism in Europe, the dramatic events led to the ruling of monarch Tsar Nicholas II, who gave up his power, and Russian Revolution. So in the chapter number 2 we are going to discuss about Russian Revolution and change of the society. It raised the question of economic equality and well-being of the workers and farmers. The chapter will tell about the changes that were initiated by new Soviet government, the problems faced and its measures it undertook. While Soviet Russia pushed ahead with industrialization, mechanization of agriculture. So, chapter second we study about the Russian Revolution. That what we discuss in chapter number 3. Chapter number 3 will take you to Germany. It will discuss the rise of Hitler and the politics of Nazism. So chapter number 3, discussion about rise of Hitler, Nazism, and you will read about children, women in Nazi Germany. Nazism is considered as one of the extreme ideas in the contemporary world, because Hitler had an idea of Nazi society, establishing an idea of Nazi society. That's the reason why he introduced the ideas of Nazi in all aspects of life. Schools, concentration camps. You will see how Nazism denied various minorities, including right to live. So right to life. Nearly 8 million population, mainly Jewish, were killed by Hitler. So that is the cruel rule of Hitler. That is what the tradition of anti-Jewish feelings. So Hitler's tradition of anti-Jewish feeling and prosecution or prosecute Jews, and how it waged a relentless battle against democracy and socialism. So in the chapter number 3, we are going to discuss in a detailed way about how the growth of Nazism led to the downfall of democracy, and of course the downfall of socialism and ruthless killing of Jewish in the name of rise of Nazi culture. But the story of Nazism rise is not a few specific events about massacres and killings. It is about working of an elaborate, frightening system which operated in different levels. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about that in detail. So chapter 1 is about French Revolution. Cadets, if you have a book, textbook I mean, then please download Diksha app. Download Diksha app. In the barcode can, if you scan this logo, then you will get the videos related to this chapter in a detailed way, even the question and answers. So French Revolution, remember the date, in the year 1789. So in the year 1789, on 14 July, the city of Paris was in the state of alarm. The king had commanded troops to move into the city. So French Revolution is considered as one of the major upheaval in the early European history. Storming of Bastille considered as one of the major event in the French Revolution. Bastille was the name of a prison. In this prison, those who rebelled against the king in France, they were all kept in this particular prison. So the people who fought against the king, they consider this as anti to the social movements. So that's why the first thing what they done, they destroy the Bastille. So Bastille prison was destroyed. That is what the storming of Bastille prison. That is considered as the success of people over the monarchy. Another important thing which what we are going to study, what was the condition of French society in the 18th century. The societal condition is one of the major reasons for the French Revolution. Apart from that, what we have to understand, the French society was divided, the social condition was divided into first estate, second estate and third estate. Now, estate system in France, it is about the caste or social strata. So first estate, this is about clergy. Clergy were in the first estate and nobility, they were in the second estate. Third estate belongs to the common man. So big businessmen, merchant, court officials, common man, peasants, they were all there in the third estate. So estate system considered as the system in which the French society was divided. This estate system was one of the major reasons for French Revolution, because the first and second estate enjoyed all the freedom but not paid any tax. So you can see here the system of taxation which was there in France. So you can see that system of taxation. There are three types of taxations in France, and this system of taxation. So system of taxation, there are three types of tax in France. So we are going to study in detail about the system of taxation and how the people of France protested against the system. There are a lot of causes which we are going to study in detail. Out of that, one of the causes, philosophical cause, societal cause, the rule of king was another responsible, and immediate reason is called subsistence crisis. Okay, subsistence crisis. So subsistence crisis, what is subsistence crisis? Is clearly given an extreme situation where the basic means of livelihood are endangered. Subsistence crisis means absence of food grains required for consumption. So because of the increase in population in France, and according to the increased population in France, the production of food grains could not grow according to the speed of increased population. As a result, what happened? The price of food grains or the staple food increased very rapidly in France. That led to the hunger and poverty in France, especially labor class. They could not get anything. They were forced to stand in a long queue in front of bakeries to get a loaf of bread. To get a loaf of bread. So this subsistence crisis is the immediate cause for French Revolution. So that is also we are going to study in detail in this particular chapter. And the three philosophers which we are going to discuss later in a very detailed manner. French Revolution, the major part of French Revolution was supported by philosophers like Rousseau, okay, then John Locke, Montesquieu, Rousseau, J.J. Rousseau, Jean-Jacques Rousseau. So these philosophers, they supported French Revolution by providing their own theories. For example, you see the Spirit of Laws by Montesquieu. The Spirit of Laws by Montesquieu, what he said, there should be division of power within the government between legislature, executive and judiciary. Montesquieu said that king alone cannot control everything. There should be division of power. What today we are seeing in India, like legislature, parliament, executive, the prime minister, council of ministers and all, judiciary, the high court, supreme court and high court. So Montesquieu said that, proposed a theory in which he says that there should be division of power between three organs of the government: legislature, executive and judiciary. And this idea of the Spirit of Laws or the division of powers is majorly responsible for the people to get an idea, to get freedom. And Rousseau's theory of social contract also inspired the people of France. So we are going to study in detail about Estates General Meeting, transformation of Estates General Meeting into the National Assembly, oath of tennis court. This is a very, very popular movement related to French Revolution, that is oath of tennis court, because the people who belongs to third estate, after debacle or a failure of Estates General Meeting, they gathered in a place, the tennis court, and took the oath. They took the oath to draft the constitution to the France. That is the beginning of democratic setup in France. So oath of tennis court, and of course later the development of France, development in the France. And the first, after the French Revolution, the first thing happened is the king was allowed to stay. That is what France became constitutional monarchy. The king was allowed to stay in France. That means he was not sacked, rather he was given power to stay in the government. So in which year it happened? That is in the year 1791. So the limited powers were given to monarch or the king. So that's the reason why France became constitutional monarchy, means a government with the constitution but with the existence of monarch or the king. But later it is changed because of the king who rebelled against the people, against the National Assembly, by organizing or taking support from the neighboring kings. And we are also going to study about Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizen. It's a very, very interesting contribution. The Constitution began with the Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizen, and supported the very important right to life, freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, equality before law, were established as natural and inalienable rights, inseparable rights, that they belongs to each human beings by birth and could not be taken away. It was a duty of the state to protect each citizen's natural rights. Now try to understand. Today we speak about justice, liberty, fundamental rights, natural rights, responsibility of government. Even today there are a lot of incidents, or we come across that the denial of justice to the people in various aspects. But the concept of natural justice or the concept of natural rights, they are a gift of French Revolution, because what today we enjoy, that such as right to life, freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, equality before law, or which is called a rule of law, These are all the greatest contribution of French Revolution. So chapter 1, definitely an interesting chapter. We study in detail about various aspects related to the French Revolution. And today what we call as citizen or the citizen, these are all the gifts of French Revolution. Of course, then we are also going to study about a reign of terror. A reign of terror during the time of Maximilien Robespierre, and the chapter ends with the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte in the year 1804 and Civic Code of 1804. That is what the chapter ends with, the Napoleon Bonaparte, who became the dictator of France from 1804 to 1815. He was defeated in the Battle of Waterloo. So chapter number 1 in history, very interesting as well as very informative chapter, and at the same time it requires a deep level of understanding to the history of Europe. Thank you.